Chapter 43, 395 Days Missing. We could have taken the 2 lakh rupees. We could have used it for a car. We won't have to be in this polluting machine, Saurabh said. We were in an auto rickshaw, headed for the commemorative function for Sia. Saurabh and I had dressed up in kurta pajama for the solemn occasion. Golu, Alia paid us 5 lakh rupees already. How can I take more? We didn't ask Shamsher uncle. He was giving it himself. He liked our work. Alia gave us more than enough, I said. Whatever. Is she okay? Meaning? I am sure today is hard for her, Sia's birthday. Yes. You chatted with her about how she was feeling? As in? You do, right? You chat with her every night at 11. I looked at Saurabh. I am a detective, bhai, he said. I notice things. I turned away from Saurabh to look outside. I felt the mid-morning breeze on my face. Golu, I have a question for you. Don't freak out. What? If Alia wasn't married, would you be okay with me dating her? I said. Huh? Saurabh said. Why are you asking me that? Hypothetically, I am checking what is the biggest issue. Her being married or her being a client? If she wasn't married, I would be okay after the assignment is over. She isn't a client for life after all. Good to know. I have your approval on that. But why did you ask me that? Nothing. See that big tent in the park? That's for Sia's function. We have reached. Okay, great. Listen, I'm going to eat today. You said I am allowed a cheat meal occasionally, within limits. Whose limits? Yours or mine? Saurabh said as the auto came to a stop. 100 children between 6 and 14 years sat in neat rows on red and black stripped floor rugs in the tent. An NGO called Rasta had arranged for these underprivileged children to attend. Pandit Shastri with 2 of his assistants and the Arora family sat around a Havan Kund with burning firewood. Idols of Hindu gods and a large famed picture of Sia were placed near the holy fire. Alia sat next to Manish, her hands folded and eyes closed in prayers. She had not seen me yet. I noticed the white salwar kameez and white dupatta on her head. After removing our shoes outside the puja area, Saurabh and I sat down in the 3rd row behind Alia and her family. The priest chanted mantras. Sometimes he would ask member of the family to repeat a few phrases. As he reached the final prayer, he addressed the entire gathering. For Sia Arora and her entire family's peace, let us end today's puja with everyone repeating the Gayatri Mantra 21 times. During the chant, everybody come up here, one at a time, for prasad and blessings. Everyone knows the Gayatri Mantra? One of the supervisors from Rasta said to the children. The kids nodded. Okay, one by one, go for prasad. With discipline, understood? Else, no gifts later, the supervisor said. The children nodded their heads vigorously. Okay, let's all begin, he said, and 100 children joined in. Om Bhur Bhuvaswaha Tat Saviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. The tent resonated with the chanting. I saw each tear that rolled down Alia's cheeks. The children went up to the Havan Kund one at a time and bowed to the idols of the various gods. Panditji and his assistants applied tilak, gave prasad and tied a thread on each of their wrists. The heavy chant in the air slowly rendered. Alia inconsolable. Rachna put an arm around her shoulders, which were shaking visibly. Suhana glanced worriedly at her mother from time to time. The Gayatri mantras continued to reverberate in the background. Fold your hands and chant, bhai, Saurabh said as he noticed me looking at Alia before going back to reciting the mantras. After collecting prasad, the children moved to the lunch area towards one corner of the tent. 8 children received a set of textbooks, 3 sets of clothes, a blanket, and a bag of chocolates. In addition, each underprivileged children's parents receive 5,000 rupees through a direct bank transfer. The Aroras also gave an additional donation of 2 lakh rupees to Rasta, probably the check I had declined. Durga came up to me a little later. Come Keshav and Saurav, get your prasad. The children are done, she said. I nodded and stood up. After that, come to the house for lunch. Family and friends will be eating there, Durga said. I guess I belong to the family and friends category now. I wondered how that would change after their daughter in law divorced their son and came to live with me. Saurav and I reached the holy fire. We too bowed to the various deities. I spread my palms above the fire to take in the warmth. Pandit Shastri asked me to extend my arm so he could tie the moli or the holy thread. He chanted mantras as he tied a red and white cotton thread around my wrist. Like an expert who had done this a million times, he tied the knot without looking at my hand. I saw these deft fingers move. I also noticed he had several molly threads tied around his own wrist as well. The end of the threads hung loose. Behind those threads was a tattoo comprising of some Sanskrit words. I froze, my gaze transfixed on his wrist. Done beta, take the prasad, he said, offering me a spoonful of halwa. Huh? I said, eyes still on the wrist. Fast, fast, chalo, keep moving. There are more people waiting. He made a impatient clicking sound with his mouth at my slowness. I noticed his perfectly combed hair glistening with oil. I leaned forward and sniffed as deeply as I could. The smell of mustard oil, one often used in cooking, hit my nose. Keshav, so happy you came, Alia said and smiled, even as she wiped her tears. Definitely, I am so happy I came too, I said with my heart beating like a drum. Let me eat, Saurav said. It's my cheat meal. No, you come with me now, I said. Saurav was holding a plate with 4 puris and a bowl of aloo sabji. I need to talk, I whispered in a concerned and urgent manner. Milling around us were the many guests of the Aroras in their living room. So talk, Saurabh said. He took a bite of a puri. He went into semi-ecstasy as he tasted fried dough after months. Alone, I said. He noticed my serious expression. I yanked the plate out of his hand. Bhai? Later, I said. Come with me. I grabbed his hand and dragged him towards the garden. Where are you going? Eat something, Rachna said, as she saw me pulling Saurav like a bull through muddy slush. Yes, I said, in a minute. What's the matter? Saurav said, once we reached the garden. I pointed to the recently tied thread around his wrist. What's this, Saurav? Molly. Pandit Shastri has many mollies on his wrist. Some hang loose. So, what did Suhana say? She saw in the darkness friendship bands, many of them loose. Oh my god, you sure? He has a tattoo with Sanskrit lettering too, behind the mollies. Same as what Suhana said? Oh god, what do we do? Saurabh said. Still want to eat your puris? Saurabh shook his head. Bhai, I didn't know, but Shastri? Are you sure? Suhana also said the bad man had a pungent smell that she associated with the kitchen. She told me all this in Kochi. And Shastri's hair reeks of mustard oil. Suhana also said the bad man had a familiar voice. Come on, Saurav. Damn, we still need to confirm it ourselves. Can't tell the family until we are absolutely sure. He is their priest. Yes, for decades. What do? We have to follow him. We walked out of the house to the lane outside. Multiple cars of visitors were parked on the street. As we scanned the various vehicles, Pandit Shastri's and his 2 assistants passed us on their way to Navratna house. Let's find out Shastri's vehicle. When he leaves, we will follow him, I said. He will probably go home. We can ask the family for his address. No, I don't want them to get even a whiff of us looking around. As far as the Aurora are concerned, our assignment is over. I remember Alias telling me his home and office are in House Khas village. How about I ask Shastri for his card? Don't alert anyone, Golu. No talking to him at all. Let's just follow him. How? We don't even have a car. Plus, he or his assistants might figure out someone is following them. What next? I scratched my 2-day stubble. Wait, I have a better idea than us following him, Saurav said. What? I have a spare phone and a power bank at home, and I will go get them. You find out which is his vehicle. We will hide that phone in his car. Oh, track his location through GPS? Exactly. Come on, bhai, better than us chasing him through the city. Superb, Golu, I said. You are too good. I know, anyway. I better find an auto. I will be back in half an hour. Meanwhile, you do two important things. What? One, find Shastri's car and figure out a way to hide the phone and a power bank inside it. Okay, what's the second thing? Keep 6 puris and lots of aloo sabji for me. It took me 10 minutes to find Pandit Shastri's Innova amidst the 50 plus cars parked outside Navratna house. The car had a little saffron flag on the bumper and Om stickers on the rear and front windows. I waited a few steps away, keeping an eye on the vehicle. 5 minutes later, one of Shastri's assistants walked towards the Innova. He was carrying 3 idols. I noticed him struggle to take out the Innova keys from his kurta pocket. I walked up to him. Let me help you, I said. God bless you, the assistant said. I took the key from his hand and opened the rear door. It opened upwards, allowing access to the entire back of the car. The assistant folded one of the rear seats to make more space. One by one, he placed the 3 idols in the back of the vehicle. He touched the feet of each idol and wrapped them in a blanket already kept in the car. After the idols were secured, he stepped back to allow me to shut the rear door again. I brought the door down and it closed with a thud. The Gayatri mantra chants by the children were amazing, I said. Thank you, he said. As I spoke to him, I pulled out the Innova key from the rear door. However, before I pulled it out, I flipped the key to the right once to ensure the rear door remained unlocked. All those vibrations from children chanting together, so smoothing, made me feel so peaceful, I said and returned the key to him. I am glad you found it beneficial, the assistant said and smiled. May Krishna bless you. He just did, I whispered to myself as I folded my hands to the idol inside the car. Saurav met me outside Navratna house. He handed me a washcloth with the 2 hard rectangular objects wrapped inside. My spare phone on silent mode, connected to a big power bank, should keep going on standby for a week. Okay, I said. Did you find his car? I pointed to the Innova. How do we put in this contraption? Stick it at the bottom. Not necessary, I said and smiled. I walked up with him to Shastri's vehicle. I looked around to ensure nobody was watching us and opened the rear door with a simple press of the latch. Saurav looked at me gobsmacked as I smiled at him. I lifted the rubber mat on the floor. A spare tire lay underneath. I hid the phone and power bank under the spare wheel and replaced the rubber mats. I slammed the Innova door shut. They're done. Come, it's time to eat as many puris as you want. Saurav walked back with me to Navratna house with a stunned expression. Bhai, Saurav said, how did you open the Innova so easily? You saw the idols of gods wrapped in the blanket in the car? Yes. What about them? Let's just say the gods themselves decide to help me today.